The Wire is brought to you by Resora. Elevate your real estate marketing with Resora. Effortlessly design, manage, and automate stunning email and social campaigns with our intuitive platform built for real estate. Say goodbye to complex marketing. Get started with your free account today at Resora.com. And by Notebook LM by Google. Unlock the power of your information with Notebook LM. Upload your documents and instantly access an expert AI that answers your questions, summarizes key points, and generates insights, all based on your specific sources. Become a knowledge master with Notebook LM. Try it now at notebooklm.google.
All right, let's dive into some of last week's real estate news. Buckle up, because things got a little crazy.
Yeah, a lot of moving pieces right now.
Yeah, for sure. Like the National Association of Realtors pending home sales index.
Mm-hmm.
You know that thing? It dipped in December.
It did.
5.5% drop. So we had, 4 months of gains, and then boom, setback.
Yeah. Well, and that news just came out too. So, top of mind for everybody. January 31st, it came out. And, a drop can obviously be concerning, but it was only down 5% from last December.
Okay, so not a total disaster.
Not a total free fall.
But still, a little, makes you go,
Sure.
Especially with new home sales ending December strong.
Yeah.
Median price, $427,000. That's almost the same as existing homes.
Right. And that was earlier in January, that news, the 25th, I believe. And it points to a potential shift there, especially with builders now offering more concessions.
Interesting.
Which could, explain why that median new home price is expected to drop a little this year to $420,100.
So more concessions. I mean, are builders getting desperate?
I don't know if I'd say desperate. It's more likely strategic.
Okay.
Buyers are looking for smaller, more efficient spaces increasingly.
Right.
The median size is around 2,067 square feet now.
Wow.
Which is about 200 square feet smaller than what buyers wanted 2 decades ago.
It's crazy how much things change.
Yeah.
Like we are moving away from the McMansion era.
Yeah.
I read this article about this actually on the 23rd, and it said that 35% of buyers would be willing to downsize for a better price. What do you think is driving that?
Well, a lot of things. High home prices and land prices for sure. Those play a big role. But there's also just kind of a generational shift happening, I think. Millennials and Gen Z, they're often opting for smaller homes that better suit their lifestyles and their budgets.
Yeah.
They're prioritizing location, amenities, energy efficiency.
Right. It makes you wonder if the future of home ownership is, less about square footage and more about smart design functionality. Like, what can you fit into, a smaller space and make it work?
Right. Absolutely.
Okay, so shifting gears a bit. The Fed decided not to cut interest rates in January. So the target rate is holding steady at 4.25, 4.5%. And that news broke on the 17th. What are your thoughts on that decision?
Well, they're walking a tightrope, right?
Yeah.
Trying to control inflation without triggering a recession.
Yeah.
And of course, former President Trump has been very vocal about wanting those rates lower.
Right. Do you think that political pressure had anything to do with the Fed's decision?
Well, the Fed operates independently, and they try to base their decisions on data, not on politics.
Right.
But that being said, you can't ignore the potential impact that, a former president's statements might have on market sentiment, right?
Okay, yeah. And then we have the current administration's stance on certain housing programs, right? They've put a pause on some grant funding and resources, and a lot of people are a little on edge about that. This news broke on the 26th.
Yeah, and it's aimed at what they're calling illegal DEI programs and the Green New Deal scam.
Right.
Now, to be clear, this doesn't affect direct assistance programs, so things like Social Security, Medicare, S&T, those are not affected.
Gotcha.
But there is concern about the impact on certain HUD programs.
Right, and specifically, there's been a lot of talk about like the Housing Choice Voucher Program, the Community Development Block Grant Program, and then also the FHA's 203K Rehabilitation Mortgage Program. So that's like a lot of potential disruption there.
Yeah, it is. But HUD has said that FHA's Title I and Title II mortgage insurance programs will not be impacted by this pause, which is good because those are vital programs for a lot of first-time home buyers and lower income buyers.
Right. And then on top of all of this, we have the ongoing debate about extending Trump's tax cuts, which are set to expire at the end of the year.
Right. That's a big one.
Yeah, it feels like a ticking time bomb for homeowners and the real estate market in general.
Yeah.
This news broke on the 18th.
Absolutely. And, those provisions relating to lower income tax brackets and capital gains exclusions, those are going to have a major impact. And there's even speculation that a revision to the capital gains exclusion could lead to more boomers and older Gen Xers selling their homes.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so that would be good news for, like, millennials and Gen Z buyers who are struggling to find affordable homes.
You could be, yeah.
It's like a chain reaction.
Yeah, a domino effect. One thing impacts another, which impacts another.
And then, speaking of change, Unlock MLS announced that they're allowing non-realtor access starting June 1st.
Big news.
Big news. That came out on the 29th. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's a huge deal. And I think we're seeing this growing trend of MLSs opening up to non-realtors. And I think it's partly due to, these challenges to the National Association of Realtors mandatory membership requirements.
Right.
It's definitely something to keep an eye on.
But, won't this just lead to more competition for agents?
It's a valid concern, but I think it also presents an opportunity for realtors to really emphasize their expertise and the value that they bring to the table.
Okay.
Things like negotiation, market knowledge, client advocacy.
So it's about, adapting and highlighting your skills as a realtor.
Right, exactly.
Okay. And on kind of a related note, there was some back and forth on those new telemarketing rules.
Right.
First they were coming, then a court ruling put them on hold.
Yeah, kind of a roller coaster there.
A little bit. That was on the 30th.
Yeah.
So what's the latest on that?
Well, the stricter rules are on hold for now, but the existing rules are still in effect.
Yeah.
So, agents still need to be extremely careful about obtaining prior express consent for any telemarketing calls or texts.
Right. So no celebrating just yet.
Not just yet.
But let's end this segment on a positive note, shall we?
Sure.
The real estate community's response to the Los Angeles wildfires has been incredibly inspiring.
It really has.
The Realtors Relief Foundation approved a $1 million grant, and NAR members are donating generously, which is just heartwarming to see people come together like that. That news came out on the 24th.
It's fantastic to see that kind of support.
Yeah. And it's not just financial assistance, right?
Right. Companies like Vesta Home are donating furniture to those who have lost everything.
Yeah. It's just a reminder that real estate is about more than just transactions. It's about people. It's about communities.
Absolutely.
And speaking of communities, the Real Estate Caucus relaunched in Congress with bipartisan support.
Great news.
Great news. That came out on the 19th. So, this is a good sign, right? Lawmakers are serious about addressing housing affordability and supply issues.
It's definitely a step in the right direction, yeah. The caucus aims to develop legislation that supports home ownership and promotes a healthy real estate market.
Yeah.
So bipartisan collaboration is essential for tackling those kinds of issues.
It's like a glimmer of hope in what can feel like a very divided political landscape sometimes.
Right.
So, okay, we've covered a ton of ground here.
We have.
Market fluctuations, policy changes, acts of incredible generosity. What do you think are some of the key takeaways for agents and broker owners?
I think the biggest takeaway is that change is the only constant in real estate.
Right.
We have to be adaptable, we have to be informed, we have to be proactive if we want to thrive in this environment.
I completely agree. We can't just bury our heads in the sand and hope things stay the same.
Nope.
So for all the agents and broker owners out there listening, how about we all take a moment to reflect on these takeaways?
Yeah.
And think about how we can apply them to our businesses.
Good idea.
Because knowledge is power, but it's the application of that knowledge that really makes the difference, right?
Absolutely, you got it. Yeah, no, that's true. And it really does feel like those who embrace that change and adapt their strategies are the ones who are going to succeed.
I was just thinking about, as we talk through all this stuff, someone out there who's running their own brokerage, it feels like broker owners especially need to be on top of their game right now.
Yeah, you're right. They face some really unique challenges in this environment. They're not only business leaders, they've got to be mentors and guides to their agents.
Right.
Think about those telemarketing rules we were just talking about. It's the broker's responsibility to make sure that their entire team is operating ethically and compliantly.
Right. So it's not enough to just be like, hey, follow the rules.
Exactly.
You've got to provide resources, training, support.
Absolutely. And that goes for all these changes, the smaller homes, the MLS landscape, the tax policy changes. They've got to equip their agents to navigate all this.
It takes foresight too,
Yeah,
right? You got to anticipate the challenges before they even hit you.
Oh, for sure. It's about being proactive, not reactive.
Okay.
So, knowing that the median new home size is shrinking, broker owners should be telling their agents, hey, brush up on your staging techniques, your marketing. How do you make a smaller property look great? highlight the benefits of a smart design.
It's not about the square footage, it's about the lifestyle.
There you go.
Right.
And for broker owners, this might mean, investing in professional development for their agents or bringing in experts to lead workshops on these things, get them trained up.
So the picture I'm getting is like broker owners need to be that steady hand guiding the ship through the storm, right? Informed, adaptable, supportive.
Totally.
Not just for themselves, but for their whole team.
Absolutely. And that support, it goes beyond just, professional development, too. Think about those wildfires in LA. What an emotional toll that's taken on everybody.
Right.
Broker owners, they have a responsibility to foster a sense of community.
Yeah, it's not just about the business at that point, right? It's about being human.
Exactly.
Encourage your agents to volunteer, donate, or even just, be there for each other.
It's about empathy and understanding.
Yeah. And it's about demonstrating, the heart of the real estate industry.
Yeah.
Which I think is a good message to emphasize. Real estate is about people and communities.
Yeah.
It's about families achieving their dreams, supporting those in need.
Absolutely.
Building a stronger future together.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what gets me excited about it.
Me too.
Yeah.
And that's something that no algorithm can replicate, that human touch.
Totally. Okay, I'm feeling re-energized now. I think we've painted a pretty good picture of where things stand, the challenges and opportunities.
We've covered a lot, yeah. But I think it's important to remember that every challenge, it has an opportunity hidden inside it.
That's about perspective, I guess.
Exactly. You can get overwhelmed by the changes, or you can see them as chances to learn, grow, innovate.
So instead of fearing change, we should embrace it.
There you go. See it as an opportunity to grow, prove your value.
Okay.
And it's not just about surviving, it's about thriving.
I like that. And that's what I love about these deep dives, right?
Yeah.
We take all this information, unpack it, and turn it into something actionable.
That's the goal.
We're empowering ourselves and each other
Exactly.
to navigate this crazy world of real estate.
It's about knowledge is power, right? The more we understand the market, the better decisions we can make.
I'm already thinking about what next week will bring.
Oh, there's always something new.
Okay, but before we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with something to think about.
Okay.
We talk a lot about adapting to change. But what's one specific action you can take this week to really embrace a change that's happening in real estate? It could be big or small.
That's a great question.
Something to consider,
And remember, those small steps, they add up.
Don't underestimate the power of taking action.
That's right.
I mean, it's been a wild ride this week.
It has. Yeah, but I think there's a real sense of opportunity in the air, too.
I agree. And I think for agents, it's about, grabbing the reins, leaning into the changes.
Exactly.
Instead of getting dragged along.
Instead of being like, no, I don't like this.
Right, exactly. Like, take the smaller homes thing, right? It's not about selling less. It's about selling differently.
Yeah, selling smarter.
Smarter, yeah.
Absolutely. Those agents that can really showcase, like, hey, here's how to live in a smaller space and love it, those are the ones that are going to stand out.
Right. Understanding the buyer, maybe they don't care about square footage as much anymore.
Right?
Maybe they want that walkability, that community feel.
They want low maintenance.
Exactly.
They don't want to be doing yard work all the time.
It's about selling the lifestyle.
It is, yeah. It's less about the checklist and more about the feeling.
Right. And kind of along those lines with Unlock MLS, I mean, that's a big one.
It is.
And I know a lot of agents are kind of nervous about it.
Yeah, that's understandable. But I see it as a real chance for realtors to shine.
Yeah.
To show, here's what I bring to the table.
So how do you do that? How do you stand out when there's more competition?
You go above and beyond.
Right.
Right. It's the personal touch. It's the expertise, the attention to detail. That's what people are going to pay for.
Right. So it's about the relationships, building those strong connections.
It is, yeah. It's being that trusted advisor.
Helping them through the whole crazy process.
Exactly. And that's something that non-realtors, they don't have that.
They don't have the experience.
They don't have the network. They don't have the resources.
Right. So it's about, being confident, using your strengths to your advantage.
Absolutely.
Show them what you know.
And don't be afraid to adapt. The tech is changing all the time.
Yeah. You got to keep up.
Be online, be present, be able to meet those clients wherever they are.
Online, in person, it's all connected now.
Right. Exactly.
It can feel overwhelming. I get it.
It can. Yeah. But I think the key is to just, stay curious, stay informed, talk to other agents, your broker, learn from each other.
Right. Build that community.
We're stronger together.
We are.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, real estate, it's about people.
It is, always has been.
It's about connecting them with your dreams,
It's about helping them find that perfect place.
building communities, making those positive impacts.
That's what makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah, and that's what makes me love coming back to do this deep dive every week.
Me too. It's always fascinating.
Well, we appreciate you all for tuning in.
Thanks for joining us.
And remember, knowledge is power.
But action is what makes the difference.
Go out there and be amazing. We'll see you next week.
Hey there, thanks for tuning into The Wire. If you're enjoying the show and want to help us keep bringing you the latest in real estate, visit us at thewire.fm and click the Support the Wire button in the main navigation. Your support makes all the difference. Thank you. The Wire has been brought to you by Resora. Elevate your real estate marketing with Resora. Effortlessly design, manage, and automate stunning email and social campaigns with our intuitive platform built for real estate. Say goodbye to complex marketing. Get started with your free account today at resora.com. And by Notebook LM by Google. Unlock the power of your information with Notebook LM. Upload your documents and instantly access an expert AI that answers your questions, summarizes key points, and generates insights, all based on your specific sources. Become a knowledge master with Notebook LM. Try it now at notebooklm.google.